Welcome to the lovely HP community and 5D collective. So we're gonna head right into it. Spiritually awakened or not, you choose how to show up in life. And yesterday I told you all about the feminine, the embodied ones, not the distorted ones and the masculines. And so we're gonna continue. That's why you can tune into yesterday's, but this is a continuation since I wasn't able to expand. And then, it's always optimal because I was watching a lovely video of a person who does neuroscience stuff on spiritually awakened brains. Oh, I won't share the interview right now, but it was really, really amazing. And I'm also thinking of Robert Sapolsky, Determined. So, a life without free will. He has a science of life without free will, which means that you're doomed. Well, again, some of us beg to differ, meaning that as long as there's a way for you to access good information and know how to get empowered, well, you got a choice, don't you? So that's the part of where that evil scale, it's not Lucifer, it's actually people who disregard getting support. Oh, there's also people who pretend to give support to people, like the ones who say, my colleagues are against me. There's no healing for narcissists. Look, the studies show it. So basically, any of those who are against humanity and evolution and the capacity for every person to be the eternal child that they can be. Yeah, you got it? Okay, good. So there's a feminine right here. I'm like, let's make sure they understand what an inner and outer nurture is. Oh yes, wait, let's remember, I didn't come with clairs. I came with Jesus and God, and I was really simple, which is why when I said, hey God, there's no Lucifer, there's human suffering, and then there's these people that they use your name, but they're monsters. No, I didn't say monsters, but I said they protect people who I know need help. I don't want to call them monsters. I don't want bad things to happen to them, but they need to be turned away into like prison and stuff. And they're not doing it. They actively protect them, and then they use the excuse of your name and religion. So, I'm not on the side of protecting anyone who hurts anyone in general, but I'm also not on the side of demonizing. I don't need Lucifer. In fact, there's again, a mystic here, Patrick McNamara, though, also neuroscientist. So I can bring in sciences and spirituality and bring it back all the way circle. That's a feminine for you because we do know who God is or what, like in the way of the essence of that which is life. The only ones who apparently think that God could be something monstrous are the same ones who, well, lo and behold, science, they have no free will. We do know who they are. And the ones who end up in prison are 1 to 7. Then we got 7 to 14 charming. Well, they only pull the wool over the eyes of the very same lost boys, lost girls, lost days, the masses, quote unquote. I really don't like to say that word, but yeah, the algorithm, it does show that people like extremes, there's your masses. And then I think of those who don't know how to answer a very simple question, what do you like to do in 24 hours? And I'm told that is a difficult question. And I'm like, how is that difficult? Don't you know how to spend your first and maybe last 24 hours? I'm just wondering. Why didn't anybody grow up? See, as a teenager wondering, why are you going to use your time? I mean, I made the same stupid mistakes that any other teen. It's stupid, not anything. But again, wait a minute. Robert, what was it? Determined. So some people, they don't have good examples at home, but they still will be presented with choice points. And we still have choice points. Yeah. For as much as I know Robert likes to do what he's doing, I'm going to say today in our era we have choice points, and anybody who's following the fancy man and women in suit and anybody who is supporting physical violence against each other and demonizing each other, well, they obviously have made their choice. We don't need to blame Lucifer. We can blame what is called trauma. And no, we won't blame it because they're consciously choosing to say, no, I'm a healthy human being and I'm going to go against all of the modern therapy and healing and say they are not inherently healthy, telling you to be non-reactive or walking you down a path of non-reactivity. Oh my gosh, I mean, seriously, the way that they use their mouths, it makes me laugh because they're not using both sides of their brain. I, on the other hand, can completely accept that somebody does not want to be in their restorative embodiment. Completely. I'm totally cool with it. I'm not going to talk to you about aliens or anything like that for why we have a ventral vagal state, mammalian heritage, and a reptilian, because I know of it through evolutionary psychology and just evolutionary sciences people as a mystic. Again, the stories from the 4D land, they're not here in the 5D mystic land. No, they're way not never. I mean, really, when I saw these three globes, I'm like, okay, pretty sure the Earth won't be splitting in threes. And when I was out with a 4D mystic, they actively thought that we would not be seen as we were reading coffee cups and doing tarot at a public place. And I'm thinking this is not really the great moment to do this shit. No, they won't see us. Yes, they will. No, they won't. Ah, it's okay. She's big. I'm small. We have other people. I'm sure it'll be fine if anyone, because you never know who could just pop out of the woods and be like, you know what, we're going to beat you. I'm not kidding. So, we know this. And luckily, it's not the past, so I don't have to be worried about the, persecution or anything. And the 4D, well, they still like to use those words, and I don't. So again, let's go to Sadhguru. Thank you, Sadhguru. To create an outside situation, you need the cooperation of other people and forces. Yes. To create an inner situation, you only need yourself. Thank you again, Sadhguru. Yes, so when you will have understood, spiritually awakened or not, mindfully aware of yourself or not, you do choose how to show up in life. And not everybody gets the beginning of that choice. So we all know how that works, which is why we have Michael Stone, forensic criminologist, his evil scale. And I do this because they're really not evil. They were given the short end of the stick. They got trauma, like big time. And whoever knows whatever unfortunate business happened. So it's not about us giving them a green pass. It's about being able to intellectually, educationally, unlike lack of imagination for evil, the human being who thinks that the sentence actually holds water disregards a gazillion billion of other colleagues, thinking that his and only his and whoever it is from yesterday counts more. I mean, really, ego. Wow. That's why they can't hear anyone else, because it's like trying to talk to a 3-year-old who's not a 3-year-old but thinks that they know everything, and actually it's a teenager who's not even meeting their 3-year-old. No, they completely left the 3-year-old brokenhearted, very viciously upset, and that's why they spit venom from their mouth as they get on screen, ladies, and inform us of contempt and disgust towards us after fucking us. Now, I need to make sure you understand this. I'm just thinking, wow, you actually said yes to post that 1-minute video. I don't care however many other amazing videos you make. The fact that you allowed that video to go, I'm just thinking, shows me a lot about you. Oh, and the other part is when he ends with shame, I don't know if it's towards me or him. And I'm also wondering, why didn't he talk about therapy? Or, not to do it, or that, none of it. While on the other hand, let's go and take a very amazing man, Terry Real. Come on board. I love Terry Real. He has men become real men, and women also become real women in the sense of functional adults. And when I say real, I mean, wow, okay, now I got a human in front of me. Hey, Pinocchio, finally you made it off that island. Now, let me remind myself to read a little bit. So the 5D Collective, yes, we are people and mystics who choose to engage our restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating body. It's called non-reactivity. As I was saying, the fancy lady, really, when I smirk, it's because I think of all those asshole teenagers who I'm like, you're all insecure, but I didn't do it in let me spite you. No, I did it in, hey, Jesus, they're being mean. Remember, don't hurt them. Forgive them. They don't know. And now I know it's true. They don't know, but they can choose. Because anytime somebody speaks to me, you can choose how to speak to me. Anytime you speak behind my back, you can choose. You can make a lot of choices with your mouth. So I'm, again, not going to give you a green pass. I'm not going to do it in the other way, where I'm going to say they're evil. No, Lucifer. Lucifer I thought of as a monster. I never saw that monster one day in my life. And I have clairs. In fact, I've seen the quote-unquote underworld, the real one. Yeah, it was fascinating. I do Akashic record readings, so yes, I did go there. And I also have traveled, multi-dimensional travel. It's amazing. It's amazing to be a 5D mystic, not the 4D. So we're out as we're doing coffee cups and tarot, and lo and behold, walking up towards us is the very owner of the bar. Because, again, we're in a small place, and the owner's like looking at us, and I'm noticing how he's looking at us. He's intrigued, but he's also a bit like, I'm not sure why they're doing what they're doing. And he walks up to us and he double checks, and he's okay with us, and he leaves us alone. This is the very same person who showed, in fact, respect towards moi. It's another conversation my regular listeners know. And that's why, in fact, he's an honorable man and he has only middle school education. So it's not true. Your college degree doesn't do shit. In fact, I had a bunch of college people, women and men, telling me about their horrible fucking business. And I was like, you don't have to fuck if you feel more lonely than before. And I didn't have any attachment trauma in my back pocket. Now that I do, and that man on the screen, I'm like, okay. I'm lucky because I don't fuck people just randomly. Are you lonesome tonight? No, not really at all. I actually am very happy in here. Another thing a feminine won't be doing. I made it on my own. Please let me open the door. That's what it sounds like when I see her with wedding bells. And I'm thinking, you didn't meet good men friends. I did. They told me, remember, Maria, you're an object. They don't love you. They just want to fuck you. And actually, one of my friends was pretty brutal about it. And he was pissy in his pants. And when it came time to apologize, no, he didn't. He did, but he didn't. The only reason he got a phone call in the first place is because I have the capacity to say, okay, I owe him shit. Let me make sure to have integrity. And then let me make sure to tell him the truth. I wasn't going to call you back because you were viciously mean. And that's how it works. So again, nobody tests anyone when we're actually people with cojones, whether you have them or not. And I know people like to do the whole balls, vagina show. You choose your organ of choice. I'm just going to say, I'm a 3-year-old who can speak the truth because my mother didn't fearmonger me. And there you go. That's simple. So, spiritually awakened, I don't think I was at 3 years of age when I said, you can't spank me. It's my body. Nope, that was pure consciousness and it's still here. So this is the beauty about being a spiritually awakened brain, though. Oh, I love it. And I love this interview that I watched yesterday. So, the 5D Collective, come on over because really, thoughts and emotions, they're welcome always. We don't drag around a pain point or the emotional triggers as motivation. Yeah, that does not motivate a 5D person. No, it actually makes us want to vomit every time we think about it. Oh, and laugh too. Why? Well, because the laughable one is where none of these people are getting out of it. There's a Zen master's laundry. He's just dragging that sadness around instead of going to get his window of tolerance expanded to window welcome to emotions. Does anybody not know how to cry these days without suffering? I mean, I know about suffering. In fact, I had a little chit chat with God. He said, don't judge it, Maria. You remember, every baby is their own tree. You're not those babies. But God, I feel they're suffering. Yes, but they're not your babies and you don't want babies. Nope, I don't. Actually, I like grown-ups. I love to love. And my baby, he loves to laugh and he loves to live and he loves to learn. He loves to not cast stones and he's always groovy kind of love. So yeah, feminine is always on a high, and we already know what a high means. It means you don't bring me your mood, you don't actually try to hurt my feelings. Oh, and you're smart enough to know the essence of life and love are the motivators. So when you wake up in the morning, your secondary human consciousness, do you know how to use it? I do. Thanks, Marcus Aurelius. As he points out, Maria, why worry about something you can't do anything about? How about you focus on the legacy you want to leave behind? You're right, Marcus. I want to help people. Help you to be you. It's not as straightforward as you may think when people are like, I don't want to be me. Now I know how not to say anything and to leave it alone. And then when I notice the copycats, I'm like, wow, they have a nice story going on. They think 144,000 people are needed for the Earth to actually transition to the 5D frequency without considering the stars, the galaxy, and that there's dark matter and dark energy. But let me not forget how sciences are trying to disprove reality with AI, and then spirituality think they can prove spirituality. And in both cases, when I hear that word, I think of Terry Real. Come on in again, because I forgot to mention. So Terry Real, I love the man. He has a bunch of amazing tidbits. Anyone go. He knows how to tell you about healthy self-worth, how to love yourself first, and then there's Patrick Tihan too. But so he is a man who talks about this. Hold on, give me 1 second. I need to grab it because I forgot the word he uses. But I'm like, you know what? Yep, I know a bunch of people like that. That's not the 5D Collective, though, because we definitely don't do it that way. I mean, we do care about each other, just not in getting your thumbs up or thumbs down for anything. It's really... And, of course, when I want to find what I'm looking for, it doesn't show up. Here it is. Other-based esteem. Yeah, so some people base their self-esteem on other human beings. As Sadhguru pointed out, what happens in here is yours. And I agree, Sadhguru, but what I also know is the pretenders actually are other-based esteems. They look outside and wherever they're getting this or this, and then they follow the Peter Pans and Lost Boys of the entire YouTube land. So we here at 5D like to tease those who choose to not commit to becoming their higher potential, because everyone can, and they can get out of human suffering. But again, we do know some people want to make those choices. Oh, also, I forgot, the trauma charges, the big ones. It's very important to remind you, dysregulated, modulated, embodied people, they have to first choose to want to heal. And then in time, once they're ready, they can get a relationship with their body. It's not a quick fix, nope, and it's not a broken thing either. And it's actually not in any way, shape, or form meant to be dehumanized, demonized, distanced, or made out to be some small shit. It's not, which is why those who pretend are making it out to be, how dare you talk about trauma all the time? It's not trauma, it's not trauma. Okay, you know what? You don't want to make it into what it is. You're distancing, you're avoiding it, you're textbook, not securely attached. That's none of my business how many ways you're going to continue like the Zen Master to make your way to bullshit land. And I'm going to notice that you have no emotional depth or mental depth because you chose to disregard what is an emotional pain body and to go down a spiritual bypasser or mantle of mental health, because the mantle is there all over. I canceled you. I blocked you. How dare you do this? How dare you do that? My window tolerance. And anytime I'm this tone, I mean, I have the same tone whenever I'm whining about something, but I hear it of the others. So see, we all can know our tones. I can be annoying. Yeah, my gooey-ness can be annoying to people who don't want it. I'm okay with that. I don't stop being gooey. I just move out of their way and they move out of my way, and there you go. Problem? No problem. It's called we share a globe. It's big enough for all of us to be on it. Anybody? So yes, again, feminine here, not masculine and not distorted feminine. I really did wish that I would see a lot more masculines at this point empowered, but I notice how much they love the distorted feminine. I will let you open the door for me. Be my good boy, shall you? I'll give you meaning and motivation. Come. It makes me think of Hansel and Gretel. And I don't feel very happy for those masculines, but I actually don't have anything to say because, again, when they're empowered, they're awesome. When they're not, well, they, like that fancy lady in her suit, don't know shit. And I know that I'm not a good observer sometimes about things, but I'm also a good observer about other things. And that's subconscious and conscious, yes. So whatever's in here, yeah, this is going to be something I pick up on because my body's 4'9". I don't want to be in any kind of physical threat. And when you have low self-esteem people, they can become physically threatening. And I'm not joking. Again, it's why I don't find masculines safe at all. I find myself safe, and any feminine that's empowered. The masculines I don't go to until I'm really sure that they are gooey inside. And that actually, well, again, there's so many stories that Sadhguru shares, of which one that I didn't look at and like, wow, I'm so amazed by this story. I'm not. I never am by these people. The sages who go off into the mountains and never show back up again. Yeah, but I did understand what that means. Ego dies and they come back wiser than before. But to me, they abandoned ship. You see what I'm saying? And abandonment makes me think you left, Jesus stayed. Or he came back. He didn't leave. And when he came back, he also got crucified and he suffered. And so, this is where I'm biased because I come with Christianity, Catholicism. So I come with a background where I heard Jesus' story. And then when I started reading Siddhartha's, I'm like, he left. Okay, I'll read you later, Siddhartha. But I appreciate you. And today with Sadhguru, I can appreciate everything he shares, as always. And some of those stories, like I said, is like, okay, sure. So the one that I was thinking about, this man, this king who has a bazillion wives. Oh, lo and behold, the hard to commit men. I'm polyamory though. Guess what? Men don't like to share. Yeah, unless they're empowered. Because if they're not empowered, they think that they're going to lose you because they have low self-esteem. Again, smart feminines, smart masculines, men, women, days, all of anyone who's empowered is not going to be blown away by what I'm talking about. They're actually going to be smiling and laughing alongside with me. And that's good. So come on over because, again, spiritually awakened or not is not the point here. The point here is that you don't drag a pain point around. You're motivated by the essence of love and life. You are human, after all, are you not? True love is what motivates us. Unconditional is what true love is, not conditional. The ones who have conditions, they can go to Terreal. They obviously need Terreal to get healthy boundaries online. I don't. healthy self-worth. I have it already, so I'm here for the ones who have it already. And we help the ones who want to heal from trauma. So if they bring us their attitude, we're not going to be like, oh, let me give you a green pass. Let me be more flexible, shall I? Am I not decent enough to be? No, you're not. It's not about decency. I just, in 3 years of not talking to you, figured you would know I don't want to be friends. And as a 50-year-old man, however old you are, and me 44, I didn't think that I'd still have to deal with a teenager attitude, man, woman, or they. Instead, lo and behold, guess who leads the bus of that fancy man and that fancy woman in suit, and more than just that, they're 16-year-old, which is why I'm like, ha ha ha, they think they're badass. Oh, their mouth can move a lot, they know a lot of shit, but they're not badass. But they're there as 7 to 14 charming for the ones who don't want to do the heavy lifting, as Patrick Teahan would say, the emotional pain body. Get it back online is completely sad and painful. So again, please remember, we're a collective. FYI, this feminine, every baby has their own journey, as God told me. And I know, and there's no Lucifer, there's only the ones who choose to not get into their ventral vagal state and to stay in their threat response. So again, let's remember, the frequency below neutrality is for everyone who wants their to be reactive, like that fancy woman, the man, they want to speak vicious shit on screen. And it's not vicious, because if it was vicious, it would be taken offline. It appeals to their crowd, to the toxic masculines and feminines, the gender stereotype human beings, even the ones who criticize and crap on humanity consistently and think that you're dumb and apparently that you won't learn how to use your brain. I beg to differ. That's just my personal opinion. But polyamory, apparently we overestimate the capacity for you to use your brain. That's according to another human being who is a journalist or some other type of expert. So lo and behold, you get to choose. Do you have free will to optimize your emotional, mental, and physical intelligence, or do you not have it? Robert Sapolsky, what do you think? I haven't read your book yet. I'm gonna read it. I know I will, but I began reading it, and once I started, I was like, okay, I'll wait for you in a little while. I'm more interested in Dr. Daniel Siegel's content and his quantitative with qualitative, and he's authentically sharing everything he can, and he's, not trying to prove a point. He's not trying to prove shit. He's actually expanding. So there's a difference between empowered human beings and the ones who are empowered, but in a different way. So the one focus type of empowering message leads me to know I'm going to get value from it all. But there's a reason, and the motivation behind it is really something personal, from a teenager version to a grown-up version. So it's valuable, yes, because you're still an expert, but it's a little bit less valuable than the one who's doing it for everyone in the agenda of mental health and hygiene and actual well-being for all human beings involved. Not because there's a very specific charge, meaning a emotional bias towards it. You know what I mean? So here's where, for me, for example, I come here and say, you can be you. Now, if you want to be you in your threat response, I'm sure we will still get along. However, I will be pointing out to you every single time Cusco comes up. And that's when you might say, I don't like Maria. And I'll be okay with that, because I'm not here to say, good boy, good girl, good day. Oh, you did such a... I'm here to say, you could speak it differently. I was told so many times by my men friends, did you say it well enough? So if there's one thing masculines teach you, and distorted feminines, because again, teenagers like to play with words. I don't play with words in the same way they do. I'm actually in the relationship because I'm building one, having a good time being me, and then they begin to do shit, and I'm just thinking, okay, this is getting awkward. And because it's a feeling. No, not that you're in love with me, that you're having a hard time somehow, for some reason. Oh, it's so hard to keep a relationship going. No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. So 5D Collective, they notice the difference between depth and softness of thought and emotion in how they move beyond all situations brought forth by day-to-day life, people, all of it. It's thanks to mindfully living. Mindfulness practices support your restorative embodiment, and so when you're dealing with an integrated brain, it's soft to think and feel, which is why the benefits are relationships, environment, career, you name it. You're a leader in your... whatever it is you're doing, and you're going to have a good time. And in fact, the state of ease and flow is what the 5D Collective embodies, which is really fun. Again, infinite higher human conscious potential experiences are fun. So is using our social engagement system, since nobody's really a threat physically. And I double checked. God said, I'm cool. He actually said, Maria, you're physically safe. It's no longer the era where you need to be concerned with anything. Just keep on doing your thing, but remember, don't judge the baby sufferings. Leave them alone. Let them cry. It's not your business. They're their tree, you're your tree. Being yourself mindfully and spiritually. So again, those who want to achieve higher emotional, mental, and physical intelligence states, and then we have those who don't. It's not a must to become all that you can be. Nope. You get to choose how to be, how to show up, and how to live that life. It's a choice. Also, you get to choose how to treat people, which is why anytime I've met anybody who doesn't know how to apologize, I don't do anything. My facade friend taught me all about how I can be loved infinitely and beyond, because my friend does, and not actively hear words that I speak to him from my heart because he's talking over me. And really, he only is coming to me because I'm the only safe haven, secure base that he had, which is fine because I knew that already. This is why I made myself available to my facade friend, because he had no friends, because he treated his friends like little pawns. And this is something that I wasn't like, oh, I'm doing it to be good. No, he's my friend. He's, in fact, one of the people who's in my future. And I told him about it, even though he doesn't believe in any of this shit. But I still said I need to share this one with him because he's going to get the life he wanted in this lifetime that he gave up on. And that's the part. What happens when people give up on their true self is that they give up on it. And there you go. So, again, what you choose to leave behind is also choice for your legacy, and will live on through the generations future. So I plan on leaving a good legacy. It's called Be Yourself, not Show Yourself. Be yourself, mindfully flawed and with integrity, because what other people say about you doesn't matter. It's what you say about you, and you don't want to have shame here, but you need to not have shame. So I don't have shame because my mother, she gave me a child-centric environment, okay? The ones who have shame, they want to get out of it. Otherwise, they end up like the fancy man in Screen talking about women in this vicious way, and the woman with this, let him open the door for you, and actually wedding bells and fucking, wow. Again, my men friends made sure I'd understand just how much of an object I am. Thank you, men friends. Which is why you don't fuck just anyone. You make sure, are you in it for the right reasons? Meaning you love me or not? It's really, you don't love me. No, you can go find some object somewhere of somebody else who's looking for you to, good boy, good girl, here, let me give you a me. That's exactly what I think of when I think other-based self-esteem. Yeah, that's not self-esteem. It's more like, where are you, Sadhguru? What is love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt. No, not that. It's freedom and joy, not attachment and bondage, which is what other people offer people who want that. And again, I'm not saying that we all are going to be alike at all. No, I'm saying that yourself, you can own it. It's a sense of self. Core, narrative, relational, solo. And people, you don't need a spiritually awakened brain. In fact, the only way you're going to get to spiritually awakened brain is if you work on integration of brain. But again, the fancy lady in a suit, oh, she brutally dissects modern day therapy and healing, and she's not the only one on screen. Is what I'm saying. We got to avoid it. I don't want to do mindfulness or journaling. I'm just going to talk about being an avoidant. There's your one focus again. But she's going to be there for all the avoidants who don't want to go and do anything, and they want to be someone, and they want, what do teenagers do? Anybody remember? They're little groups. There's your Peter Pans. That's why the 7 to 14 charming. I mean, really, they're not silverbacks in the way of badass. They're just a bunch of people who don't want to grow up, but not in the Peter Pan way. In a more like we have envy, jealousy, spite, threat. This is all low frequency. They're basically Tom and Jerry, but not a fun kind. They're basically Cusco and Pacha, but not really. There's no Pacha. There's just Cusco's and the squirrel and Yzma. There's not even Kronk. So, again, you choose. Here's where some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen. Thank you, Michael Jordan, the 5D Collective. Come on over. Man's character never changes radically from youth to old age. What happens is that circumstances bring out characteristics which have not been obvious to the superficial observer. Yes, Haska Pearson. So, 5D people, we are true lovers and mystics, remember, and mindfully living and loving. So don't make fun of our mystic stuff. And we are also true partners because we know what it means to say I love you and mean it and not turn our back on you the minute you get into a mood. No, we actually know how to say, okay, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm feeling, here's what I'm on, and have an actual human being. And I'm saying these words because really there's not all these empowered people just yet. Just look at YouTube. But there are enough of us at this point. Thank you, Dr. Daniel Siegel and all the experts, Bezel Vanderkolk, Janina Fisher, Peter Levine. It's all the scientists. Because see, for spirituality, sure, We're bountiful, but they make philosophy, which I love, to translate as a human self-help translator so that you can see science and spirituality come together. No, I'm not confusing them. This makes it confused. I'm not confusing shit. I know exactly what I'm bringing to the table because I love to learn and I love to live and I love to laugh and I love to expand and not cast stones. So I don't cast stones on sciences or spirituality. They both have value. And then I know who the ones are all inclusive. And then I know the one focus. And then I know how valuable they all are. And I know how the lower frequency are valuable for the babies who want to keep on suffering and crying. And I've been told again, as a grown up, to mind my own business. So I will mind my own business. I'm locking out the suffering from the human beings who continue to want to be in that poor, broken child's heart. So again, be yourself, mindfully and there spiritually. If you want, you don't have to. But tune on in again. If you do enjoy more, we will be back with some other content, I think, in a little bit. I'm not sure. But if not, like, share, and subscribe. And we're heading tomorrow. Yes, here, at least in America, it's Thanksgiving Day. And I'm grateful for every one of you. But again, we might be back. So tune on in.